All right, well, hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sunshine State of the Market. I'm Joe DeMarco with Hartford Funding right here in Estero, Florida.
I'm Steve Zalunardo out here based with Treviso Realty. Thanks for coming out. This is obviously Memorial Weekend. We do this with Joe every year, the podcast, because Joe's obviously served as a Marine for 8 years, so thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
And just obviously, this is in my office. We got the famous statue here, the planting the flag in Hiroshima.
Iwo Jima.
Yeah.
Flag raising in Iwo Jima.
It's pretty amazing to be now finally in the United States and always watching just the bravery of the men and women of this country and also the freedom it's provided, not just for America, but the world. To be honest, I think a lot of people don't realize just the sacrifice and how important it is to the world that we live this such free in life, and that we take it for granted sometimes. We bitch about the pool's too cold. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, like we have an opportunity. I was driving to work this morning, and it was like, it's just peaceful. You can get to work as hard as you want, and not have any interruptions. And you're not in a war-torn country. You don't have any duress with communism, any of this stuff. And you just, like, what a time, what a place.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just think, you know, today people, like you said, they just, you know, forget how we got here and why we're here, right? It's the men and women before us who paved the way, gave their lives so that we could enjoy the lifestyle that we have now and the opportunity in this world that we have now. Because if they didn't, it could be a completely different world right now. We could be speaking a different language right now, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know, obviously, yes, I served for this country. I was grateful, thankful that I didn't have to go, to battle, but I was ready if we did. And, you know, my heart goes out to all the men and women that did, even as of recently, and, you know, have impacted their lives for sure. Yeah.
You know, amazing. Yeah, 100%. We definitely appreciate them. I remember being a kid, you know, watching CNN when it was a real network back in the, late 80s, when it was obviously the Gulf War, and it was 88, 89. Mm-hmm. We watched everything from abroad, right? And it's just amazing how it's just the bravery to kind of go in and fight. I mean, that's the only war I've kind of, or the first war I've seen as a, in my lifetime, clearly. Obviously, you saw Vietnam as well as a kid, right?
Well, I mean, I was alive. I was born
at
that time. I was born in 1963, so, you know, I was alive during that time. I don't remember much of it as a kid, but obviously growing up, and, you know, I've watched enough and read enough about Vietnam, and that's one place, one war I wouldn't have wanted to be anywhere around. I mean, that was a bad one. So, but hopefully we'll never see anything like that again in our lifetime.
100%.
Or anybody's lifetime, for that matter, for sure.
And the Korean War.
Yeah. Well, Korean War, World War I, World War II. I mean, they were all bad, right?
Yeah.
A lot, millions and millions of men and women lost their lives, protecting this country for sure. So, it was an honor to be able to serve in the military, right? I always feel very proud of what I did, and I'm grateful that I made that decision to do that. So, I did my part.
100%, man. That's why I like hanging out with you. You're a no bullshit guy, and I really appreciate. And I remind you sometimes, that's like, that's very special, man.
Yeah.
Not many people that have done it, and not many people don't have the courage to do that. To be honest, so to kind of like knowing that you're going to leave and maybe never come back, because you were still stationed abroad. You were out. Anything could happen at any time. Where were you stationed?
So I was stationed overseas for a lot of my tour in the Marine Corps, but more importantly, I mean, I was there right at when Marine barracks got bombed, and all those Marines lost their life over there in Beirut. I was still there when, Desert Storm took place. When Marine Barracks, was happening, I was in the Philippines at the time, and we were on call. We didn't know if we were ever going to get called to go over there, and have to, fill the boots of people who lost their lives over there. So, we came close, but, we were ready. But, I guess now I can thank God that I didn't end up there, right? So, but it was around me, definitely, for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
it's amazing too. You look at America's history, and this is why we chose to move here. And where people ask me, you know me, I'm Northern Italian, so it's like one sentence. That's it. I want to do one sentence, which means a story. They say, "What's your plans with the U.S.?" You're gonna go build and come back. I said, "Died in Canada, or born in Canada, died in the U.S." I mean, that's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So we're happy to be here. This is our country. Now, and then ultimately like, my kids' country. My daughter's in DC now. First thing she did, I don't know if people like this or not, but she bought a Trump bucket hat as soon as she got into the DC. So it's like the Floridians arrived, all the kids are wearing Trump hats. So
that's great.
You know, and that represents, it's a movement of Make America Great, clearly. And it's, I don't know how people take that the wrong way, where you're seeing such positive progress for the future of the country, where you're building a new foundation on hope, right? And not only that, what it's done shaped the world. If you see now the European nations and stuff like that, they all step back from what their clear agendas were in the beginning, which happened to Canada. They destroyed Canada. That's a European culture now.
Yeah.
It's a Canada. You saw my office.
Yeah.
F-14 jet on the wall, U.S. flying, the size of the wall.
NFL pictures.
You had Michael Jordan, painted with the quotes. You had a $100 bill, Benjamin Franklin, in the middle of the boardroom.
Yeah.
So we are so influenced by America. It's basically a little America. That's why if it did become the 51st state, I know there's pushback up north, but ultimately it wouldn't be a big difference, because we do everything that what Americans would do already. But now it's like the last government, the last 10 years, created like basically a European state, so it's unrecognizable. This is why we're here, because we believe in freedom, we believe in hard work. You should, get your fair share at the end. Like you put in the effort, you should get it back. Not be like slave labor, where it's like up there now, like the high taxation and all that stuff has become very socialist, where there's no more future for our kids, and which leaves America #1 place in the world to live by far. It's always been, but now I can attest to it. Just again, it's not easy. We're out here working, like you can attest to like my work effort here. Like we're running multiple businesses. There's bullshit I got to deal with a lot of times, but we're happy to be here because we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Where even under the new administration now, like all the benefits coming in. Like if you're going to create $10-11 trillion of new flow of cash into the country through investment, they're seeing like 3 to 5 million jobs, sticky jobs, like real high paying, jobs. Let's say that, like blue collar, white collar jobs. So what a time, buddy.
It's a great time, and and we just we just have to be a little bit patient. I think of what's going on, right? Some people don't like what's going on. Some people love what's going on, right? I think we just got to let time play itself out a little bit. It's only been a short period of time. Yeah, things are a little bumpy right now, but I think, I think we just need to get through it. And I do think that there's light at the end of the tunnel, segueing into the markets, into what we both do on both the real estate side, the mortgage side. It has been a little bit rocky right now. It's not doom and gloom. It's not the way that we wanted it. We would love for it to be, 2021, 2022, where it was like tripping babies to close loans and sell houses. It takes a little bit more work, a little bit more effort right now. But I think, again, that's just a part of what we're going through. We kind of got to go through a little bit of the darkness to get to the light at the end of the tunnel. And I think, the markets are reacting to that right now. I always talk about the 10-year, the treasury yield. That's been, on the rise again.
You're at 4.5%.
Yeah, we're 4.5, 4.6%.
I gotta lock in that with my loan.
And I think
you'll make me sign it now.
There's a lot of similarity with what happened in 2023. In 2023, back in, I think it was June of 2023, Fitch rating came out and gave a bad rating, credit rating to the United States.
Why would they do that?
It's just because of all their debt, right? We had to raise the debt ceiling at that point in time. There was a lot of debt. They raised the debt ceiling. Fitch gave them, a poor credit rating, and the bond market reacted.
Based on what though? Because I got to look at that. It's full of shit. Because I saw what they reported were the countries that had AAA rating. Canada, like all these European states.
Yeah, I saw.
They're garbage. Yeah. I can attest to that because I know that economy very well.
Yeah.
I've built my businesses. I still do business there. I'm an investor. It's garbage. There's no hope there.
Yeah.
We lost in April alone 50. Okay, so Ontario's a small place, like small. It's a province. It's big landmass, but population small. So let's just say it's about 6 million people. Let's say 10 million in Ontario, but 6 million where we are in the GTA, like in GTA in Toronto area. So you lost 57,000 high-paying jobs, manufacturing and retail warehousing, 1 month. You got our local 183 union, which is an American union. They're based out of DC. So they have I think it's 70,000 members, something like that nature. 15 to 20,000 home. This is a small place, okay? You got 80 condo launches that were, because we were big on condos, like a little mini Manhattan down there, right? There's cranes everywhere. We had the most cranes up in the world at one point. In the world, just recently, and just now it's all died out. So that's, just imagine imagine that. So ultimately, you had 80 condo launches, 76 closed down. They set them up. Email blasts, come out, they do this whole thing. They set up a sales center, here's the models, that little model in the middle of the platform there, and everyone's just buying. I'll take this, I'll take that. 76 closed down, and the last 4, I don't even think they're going to break ground, because they needed like 70 to 80% of the units to be sold in order for the financing to kick in. So there's no condos, okay? So just imagine an economy. So no condos, and low rise is not. They're closing down sites left, right, and center. Yeah. There's no construction jobs left. So that economy's dead. There's nothing bringing it back. So how can they have a AAA rating if it's got, number one, the debt load that was produced with our liberal government in the last 10 years destroyed that country. The fabric of that country's changed. If it was plaid, it's like, it's purple. It's a different texture and color altogether. It's a different country right now. So I don't understand it. So that's what I'm saying. How is that possible? If you got a government now, clearly that's cutting. You bought a company.
But they're taking. They have a lot of debt, and they got to continually raise that debt ceiling.
I get it, but what they're doing.
You think about this. Go back 30 years in the United States. I think 30 years ago, the national debt was like $5 trillion, right? Here we are today. We're at $35.6 trillion in debt. And come the X date, which is in August or September of this year, we have to decide whether we're going to raise the debt ceiling or not, right? So what's happening is, I think, to answer your question, I think, see, the United States government is supposed to take money and put money into reserves for like pensions and stuff like that, right? But instead, what they're doing is taking that money and paying down some of the debt, and then paying those. They raise the debt ceiling, get more money, and then they pay off those debts then, right? Which, if you were a company doing that, taking money that you were supposed to use for pensions and other things and paying other debts, you'd go to jail for that, right? So I think it's a very similar situation of what happened in 2023 when Fitch gave them a bad rating. The bond market reacted terribly to it. And the bond yield went up, rates kind of skyrocketed. They eventually settled down. Well, here we are again a year late, in 2025. Moody's gave us a bad rating that impacted the bond market. It went ridiculous a couple of days ago, right? It's kind of settling down a little bit.
But these are the same companies that during the financial crisis, they were giving A ratings on everything. Yeah. So they're full of shit.
They're
100%. Yeah. Because if you ever watched The Big Short, there was a pure documentary on what took place. They would these hedge fund managers that were running practices would go there. Like, I think there was a guy, Michael Burry. He was the architect that was betting against the American economy. Yeah. He would go to Moody's and all these, and these, I guess it's Fitch or whatever, but I remember Moody's in the movie, and he would say, how is this possible? How are these ratings still being where they are because he had everything on the line, and his hedge fund companies, money's on the line. How is this possible based on this? Yeah. Where are you coming up with these numbers? So that's what I'm saying. A lot of this has got to be bullshit, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what,
It was manipulated then. Why isn't it manipulated now? Is it a political thing? Yeah. Like, you always got to look at this. Yeah. I get it with the debt and everything, but Biden was carrying the same debt. So what's the difference?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, he raised it. I think it was during, the last time they raised the debt ceiling was during his administration, right? Yeah. They raised it up. I don't even know what the number was. But again, now we're having a similar reaction to the bond market, which is causing that yield, to get stupid, along with all the other yields across the world, right? Of other countries.
Japan. What happened with Japan? Japan's skyrocketed?
Yeah, Japan's and Germany's, I think. all the yields across the country have kind of reacted. So, and then the tariffs, the bond market, is worried that it's going to increase, even more debt, right, with the tariffs. So until a lot of this stuff settles down and kind of washes itself out, I think we'll be in for a little bit of a a bumpy ride in the market. But again, it's not doom and gloom. There's still opportunity, right? There's always opportunity out there in the marketplace, especially when things are a little...
Listen, the high rates bring low prices in houses.
Yeah,
if you can afford it, then do it.
Well, and what I've been preaching, if you're following me on social media, is the opportunity to get not so much lower prices, but taking that lower price, the money you would save on the contractual price of the house, and buying down those interest rates, right? Right now you can get deals on houses. You could take that money and buy those interest rates down temporarily if you're in the mindset that rates are going to come down, or permanently, right? It's going to help you afford more house and even qualify when you're doing permanent buy down. So there's a lot of opportunity out there in the marketplace. Is it a little different than it was, 4 or 5 years ago? Absolutely, but there's still opportunity there.
Joe, but this is, okay, so obviously there's a lot of, it's because there's so much things happening, right? There's a lot of change needs to be done. You got to break it and fix it, clearly. That's the normal. But if you look at, even just here in Florida, this just sounds so redundant, but the inventory is always high here. It's 8 to 10 months normal in a normal market. So 14 to 19 were normal markets. After the financial crisis, it's a normal market. I don't know how Chicago was, but I mean, like, the pandemic was an anomaly. It was low rates, and then it was just, that's what it was. And the low rates causes this massive inflation on pricing and stuff like that. But we're getting down to a normal market. So I don't know. Like, we're still optimistic on everything we're doing, right? Obviously, we're building, but we have to pull the brakes on that because we're not seeing the return on it. That's fine. We're going to move our money into something else. It's not an issue, right? Like, if it's smaller investment properties that we can buy now and they're cash flow positive, why not? We'll buy stuff that's relatively cheap. Rates are at where they're at right now with the DSCR, and then hold on to them for a bit. Hold on for a bit, and then in 2-3 years, we don't see rates coming down? Because right now we're on the wave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can we not see the shore? Yeah. If we see the shore, which all the economies, what's happening now with manufacturing, even with Apple, they just said yesterday, you can't produce the phone in the country, it's a 25% tariff. You got to build it in the country.
Yeah.
What is this? You dump all this product in the country, you got to pay, it's got to come back somehow. And that's how you fix debt. So, I can see
crazy spending.
I can see the island, I can see the sand, I can see the palm trees. Yeah, you're on a little bit of a wave, but it's an easy wave to kind of predict. You know what the bad wave is? If you don't see shore.
Right.
Like Canada can see no land.
Right.
There's no land in sight. You're going to be, they say, an economist said it'll take 40 years to get the country back where it was prior to this Liberal administration. Jeez. 40. I'll be 83 years old.
I'll be gone.
You think I'm going to sit around? This is like those Toronto Maple Leaf fans. Pick another fucking team.
Yeah.
Pick another team.
No,
like Florida won. It was the same. Like.
Hey, I'm optimistic. You're right. I can see the land. I believe in what's going on. I believe that, it's always been. As long as I've been in this business, it's always been this, right? It's never just been, what goes up's got to come down a little bit and go back up again,
Look,
right?
I've been talking to you about what's currently happening now, maybe in a year from, last year, I was just saying, the rates, the houses, the inventory. I've been telling you, I've been preaching to this for a while. We've come to a point, I'm even doing this up north, it's like, okay, we've preached here, now we got to look for the next projection. Yeah. Where's the sand, where's the land? So we've already predicted where we're currently at right now, which is fine. Like, it's not like it was a surprise. Like you were saying, I remember inventory's building up, months of inventory, it's gonna fuck everything up. Okay, we're here. Months of inventory are steady now. We're even dipping down, and we're seeing a little bit of a price increase in Estero month over month. Yeah. So you can kind of see we're kind of bubbling back here. So it is what it is. Now what we need to do is the projection next, let's say 12 to 18 months, where we see the economy. And then that's where we're gonna spend more of our energy right now, because it's here. We knew the storm was here. And it's not even a big storm. It's like a light shower, and now we see the sand, right? We're going to start going, and that's what we're doing. In August, or in July rather, I have like a small group of guys. Like Mike's coming in, and my other buddy Hussein. We usually sit and just talk about. It's going to be an up north type of market, but I mean, I'm going to filter in the Florida stuff. But just we're going to be masterminding on the future of the 2026. So whatever we were going to unplug from what we're doing, plug into what's currently happening, and make predictions and projections. inspections, and then we're going to start implementing 4 months prior to the new season. So by 2026, we already have everything rolling day one. So as of January, let's say get back to work January 2nd or 3rd, we have rolling already. We're probably going to start doing like trailer runs during the fourth quarter, see how everything starts to work, and we can kind of fine tune. So by 26, we're going to be off to the races on both markets.
Crazy, we're talking about 26 already, right?
You have to.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
25, we're here.
We're halfway through.
We built
Just
25,
about.
but we built 25. We know how 25 is. Not coming into this market, I knew already 25. I remember I told you, it's a transitional year. I've been saying it since January. Everyone's like, you're fucking full of shit. I go, it's a transitional year. Keep your head above water.
Yeah.
We were doging in November. And I think, thankfully, like fucking something always guides me to this direction. And like, we up north, like, we continue at this pace, we're gonna go bankrupt.
Yeah.
We gotta go through everything. My assistant there, I'm like, bring me everything that we're spending money on both sides of the border. And we're gonna wipe out everything we don't need. Keep all the necessary stuff. Clearly, we don't wanna limit services. But even like when you're maintaining clients that like not even clients, people that really just kind of milking the system, you give them free stuff all the time, like they gotta go. Yeah. Like if it's not a referral or a deal, like it's, we're in business as well too, so we cleaned up a lot of that. So probably from like a $20,000 a month budget, we got maybe down to $12,000. So that's a huge cut. But the services are all there still, like the important stuff, and we feel lighter. Like it's just like you have more. It's like you shed weight and you can run quicker, right?
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
For sure. It's outstanding. Well,
we're good.
All right.
Thank you for your service, sir.
Thank you.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody. We love you all. Thank you for your service. We definitely appreciate you out this way, for sure.
Yeah. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend. Don't forget about the men and women before us. Have a drink for them, and we'll see you on the next episode.
God bless America.
Okay.